So hi Hayley, here we are again, another
Hi,
session. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm good, thank you.
Good,
Good.
good. And how have you been since the last session? How are you afterwards? And
Well, I always feel really incredible afterwards, very empowered. Last session was very powerful. I think we did did we go to three childhood memories, didn't we?
yeah,
Yeah, very, very interesting, especially as I know I touched on one of those memories before, worked on them before, but definitely I feel different about it. It's like it's definitely, when I think about that memory.
Right back to that baby image, didn't we? And you said you hadn't quite got that far before.
Yes, the baby image, but there was this ones at school as well, wasn't there?
Yeah.
That one I know I've been to a few times, and so, but I definitely feel it's done now. Worked on that one, the stragglers have gone for that one. So,
Right.
yeah.
And what sort of changes have you been noticing?
Well, we're just out of lockdown, so this has been a very sociable week. So, in terms of the smoking, I have. Yeah, I mean, I have been smoking. There's a bit more of a length of time between me having a drink or being social and then having a cigarette. And there's definitely, there's a thought about it, but I still smoke. Yeah. And the booziness and the smoking, which I'm really realizing are very literally feel like they're one and the same, actually, in a way. The booziness with friends. I mean, I guess that is the thing, is that this is the prime situation right now, this coming back together and everyone being socializing again, and really raising that this is the big subject, because
the peak of it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so how are you feeling about that?
I feel disappointed that I haven't nailed it. I feel disappointed in myself that I keep going back to those behaviors. Really disappointed. Yeah, and I guess I do feel a bit like, how can I stop it? How, like, I feel really disappointed about, not quite getting that handle on it, because I know it's going to change my life. I know it'll change how I feel about myself.
How much do you believe that you can stop as a percentage? 100% would I hope I can definitely give this up.
How much do I believe? Probably less than I thought. I mean, probably like 60% that I believe, which is disappointing. Yeah. Probably that.
We'll check in with that figure at the end. We'll see what comes up. And let's just look at that disappointment to start with. So what does that feel like in your body?
Heavy.
Do you feel it anywhere in particular? Is it all over? Is it?
It's all over here, really. It's quite a heavy feeling.
And does that have a colour or a texture?
Black. And no, it's just heavy. Yeah, it's quite weighty.
Okay, so hands over your heart, breathing in to that heaviness. What's the emotion in there? So it's disappointment. Anything else?
Fear.
Do you know what that's a fear of?
How bad is this going to get before I stop?
Okay. All right.
Yeah, a bit worried about that. Like, what am I driving myself into? I just don't get why I wouldn't be more respectful of myself, really. Like the boozing and the smoking. Like, why do I keep doing this? I'm just letting myself down. It's like, I don't need to have an extra drink. I don't need to smoke, but I just...
There it is.
Yeah, it's like I don't have any other choice when I'm in that situation. Yeah.
Okay. So just taking a breath, noticing all of that. You might breathe in a colour or an energy that's going to help you today. What do you need?
A bit of white light, I think.
Lovely. So breathing that white light in through your head, down into this black disappointment and heaviness, and then just tapping through the points, top of the head, all this heaviness. all this black heaviness, all this disappointment. Just starting to lift that away. As you know, you work through the layers, one emotion at a time, trusting the process. You've set the intention to cut this behavior out, so we need to cover all the steps. So there's a reason it's still happening, something else to uncover. And as you've seen in all the sessions so far, it goes back to seemingly unrelated scenarios, earlier pictures. So yeah, so just sticking with that disappointment and dropping into that black heaviness and allowing your mind to float back with this feeling. When have you felt that disappointment before?
I suppose when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see yourself there at that time?
Yeah, I feel quite useless. I think that's feel useless.
Okay. And what's happening? If you see that younger you, step into this picture. Is she on her own? Is she with people?
She's by herself.
Where is she? Where do you see her?
Just, no, it's a bit of a difficult picture.
Difficult to connect with, or it just feels like a difficult time?
Difficult to connect with, I think.
Let's breathe some connection, maybe some of that white energy or something else. You can step into this picture, just move closer towards that younger you. You can tap while you're doing that. Okay, what age is she?
About 14, I think.
Great, so just moving towards her, let her know you're from the future, you've come to help her. What's she feeling right now?
Heavy.
Does she have that same heaviness that you feel? Is it different for her?
She feels disappointed. I can't really see her too clearly.
Okay. So just having the intention to help her. So if you get a sense of her, and as you're tapping, just intending to tap for her. So there's all this disappointment. All this heaviness.
Disappointment.
It's hard to connect. Hard to see her.
Yeah, I've just got a memory. Actually, this time when I was about 14, and it was after school. We went down to hang out. We used to hang out in the woods, and my friend was supposed to be sharing it, so we used to share cigarettes all the time. And my friend didn't give me my part of the cigarette and kind of smoked too much, or she gave it to this other boy was there, gave it to this other boy. And it was this real, like, I remember going home and sobbing. It wasn't really about that cigarette, but I had felt very, like, sobbing to my mum. And then my friend Adam was like, why have you left? Why have you gone? It was just like this build up of feeling second best, I think. Not feeling part of the group. And this boy, I remember this boy just had always taken disliking to me, and he like spat on me once. It was horrible. And he just moved in and started hanging out, and all the boys picked on him. No one liked him. So almost in return, he kind of picked on me and hated me for some reason. And he started being mean to me to try and make himself feel better. He was horrible. And yeah, I just really felt like I wasn't part of this group. And Also that my friend, I was second best to my friend.
Mm-hmm.
I just got up some other memories as well of with this friend. Yeah, with boys and things, and yeah, never quite. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So focusing on her, that younger you, and freezing everybody, stepping into this picture and connecting with her. So, what point are you seeing her right now?
Kind of where she's walking home, like stomping home.
So she's been through that kind of rejection. From what you've said about smoking and how that connects you with people, for that to be taken away in that scenario, I imagine that's taking some of her connection and her ability to connect.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
because that was the yeah, I mean, I guess the cigarette didn't mean it was definitely a build up of
whatever that dynamic was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just connecting with her, tell her you've come from the future and you've come to help her. What's she feeling in her body at this point?
I kind of keep seeing these two sort of pictures. One is where I'm at home with my mum, and the other is when I'm walking. And I've got these two different.
So let's freeze the picture with mum for a moment and deal with the first one first. So stepping in, connecting with her, you might bring an energy or a colour for her. What does she need?
She just feels very cold. And almost a little bit panicked.
Where does she feel that in her body? Is that all over, or is it in one particular place?
It's all over.
Okay. So tapping with her as you're tapping on yourself. All this panic. Feeling cold. All this panic. Letting it go. So you can let her know that you're with her, that you're there for her. It's safe to let this go. What advice would you give her about this moment?
It's so insignificant. That she is liked, she is loved. Yeah.
And often these kind of scenarios are a reenactment of an earlier memory. So I wonder if she's ever felt like that before, that panic and that cold and that feeling second best.
Fear of being rejected, really. The fear that she's being rejected and not being part of yeah, because this is being part of this group is obviously very important to her, and she doesn't quite feel like she fits in.
And what does that feel like in her body?
I keep losing her, to be honest. She's not quite there.
Okay. Just tapping with her. She's receiving this tapping. Maybe do you need to go to the other picture with mum?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's go there. Yeah, that feels easier to connect to. And you can bring the younger one, the one who's walking home, just bring her into that memory too. Okay, how does this feel?
Yeah, she's very upset. Feels like her world is being taken. No, she could. Yeah, it's a lot of fear about what this means. Does this mean it's the end of? She's been pushed out of the group, really.
Okay, so her fear of rejection feels like it's coming true.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can sit with her, you can tap with her, you can have any conversation that you need to have, bring in any resources, any wisdom you'd like to share with her, anything you understand about relationships, anything you wish you'd known then. What might that be?
Yeah, that none of this matters.
Okay, how's she doing?
She's better.
Great.
Not crying anymore.
Okay. And how was it with mum? Was mum understanding of what she felt?
Yeah, she can't really explain to Mum though, because Mum doesn't want to tell her about the cigarettes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was a joint actually. I'm trying to think whether it was a cigarette or. I don't think she even wanted it.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Didn't even want it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a joint. We've given my cigarettes, our last cigarette, to go in for this joint, and this boy had made it, and then pretty much I hadn't been given any.
Mm.
I don't think he didn't even want it, you know. Just
You put your bit in, and then that's what happened.
Yeah, I just wanted to. Just felt I had to, really. I mean, what would I have done if I wouldn't have smoked it? I would have been out of.
Yeah, it's kind of rejecting the group, or in fear of being rejected by them. It's kind of powerlessness.
Yeah, that is the thing. It's either. Yeah.
So does that feel like a similar dynamic to how you feel about smoking right now?
Yeah, smoking and drinking now. Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense to me why I would, considering everything I know and everything I do. I don't understand why I would drink too much in social situations, and why I would smoke. It doesn't make sense to me.
Fit in with everything else that you're doing.
It just doesn't. It just feels so bizarre, even for me.
So there's that kind of pushing and pulling, rejecting first, so you don't get rejected. There's this kind of, so if I reject this, I'll be rejected. So that all of that fear that's kind of echoed in that scenario.
Yeah, it's really.
So
It is that push and pull feeling.
So that conflict feeling, that push pull, what does that feel like in her body, 14-year-old you?
Heavy.
Mm-hmm. Has she ever felt it before?
Have I felt that push pull before?
Yeah, has she felt that before?
I do go back to this memory of me as a child, the one where I'm stood in the hallway waiting for my dad.
Yeah, just checking in with her, stepping into this picture. So often you need to revisit a big sort of moment like that many times. There are lots of different aspects. So just checking in with her. How is she feeling right now?
Really sad. It's just this real realization that he's not coming back. Yeah, it's really this. Yeah, it's that same thing of when you think something bad has happened, but then you get reassured because
it's going to be okay.
That suddenly the news, you think about it's an anxiety that doesn't come real, but this is, I think, really feel that it's real, it's just
this is it.
Definitely is not coming back now, and that is it. It's
so that can be a real shock.
So it was the weight of the realization, I've got to take this on now. Really,
this is true.
Yeah, heaviness, squashing this.
Yeah.
Just so so sad.
Yeah. So connecting with her, you can hold her. You can bring in a future you can bring in friends, animals, you can bring in your dad's energy if that feels appropriate, whatever feels right. Just tapping with her, keep moving that energy through, breathing in a lightness maybe.
It's this feeling of sometimes when I wake up, when I've woken up before and I thought, oh shit, did I do that? What did I do? If I got a bit pissed? And that real panic of waiting to be told that I've done something wrong. Yeah, it's that on edge, waiting to be told I've offended somebody. I never have. It's just such anxiety I get about my behaviour. And this feels like this is waiting, the wait to find out that I've done something wrong, the waiting to find out that what I did has created this terrible thing. And sometimes that feels very much like that. I'm waiting the next day to be told what I did was so bad that everybody, no one, and I definitely go through this in my head. What you just said or did last night, or this part I can't remember. It was so horrific what I did that no one will speak to me again.
Okay.
And I've been pushed out of the group, and it's that real, and it's like, but then there's this sense of like, well, this has got to be it. This is going to have to be the last time you drink. You can't drink ever again. And then I'm reassured because everyone's like,
nothing did happen.
I don't know what you're talking about. But it's absolute panic, and I guess I just wasn't reassured that time as a child. But normally I am, or
the reality of that moment. The enormity of that moment, yeah.
And I think sometimes I wait for, sometimes I think I'm waiting for that a little bit with this boozing and smoking.
Yeah.
That's going to do something so terrible that I will have to be forced to change. I'll have to no more drink. And that maybe something bad, I'll get something bad in my body will be affected by these cigarettes.
Something bad's going to happen.
And
so I wonder what happened the day before that for the 3-year-old you. That same dynamic, because when those first 6 years, we're kind of programmed to believe that your parents are right, what they're doing is right. So if something goes wrong, it must be me. I must have done something. That's the assumption that's made. So I think it's
this feels quite. I think this feels like a couple of weeks after I've been here for a while. Like waiting in the hope that he's going to come.
Yeah.
And it's like every day he's just not coming back.
Yeah. And this realization on this day.
It's like really like nauseating actually. Like
it's
like feel it in my heart.
Yeah.
Just I feel very sad. Yeah.
Keep tapping and holding her. So a lot of this is her pain. Breathing into her heart. And tapping with her all this grief. Is that the right word? Is it realization? Shock?
It's like pain, real pain. She wants to like scream and scream and scream like this has, please God say this hasn't. And I know I felt that before that. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh God, please don't say that's happened. Please don't say I've done something. But I imagine my behaviour is like, oh my God, I did something so bad. Oh, the panic. Yeah, really bad. Like, oh my God. Yeah, I can really feel it.
Keep tapping, keep breathing, keep moving that through. It's really great that you can bring this up and feel it. We're processing it now. So just keep breathing. Trusting. What colour would help to ease that panic?
She's almost like frozen actually in panic.
Yeah.
It's really. I know this feeling.
Yeah, really familiar.
Like absolute frozen in fear of what I'm about to find out. And my head goes to such weird places of what I've done or said or just not even not true. I know they're not true, but my mind creates such bizarre stories of things I would have done when I'm pissed, and it's just like not stuff that I would, erratic things. I have to. They become so overwhelming the next day.
You keep coming back to the truth that you haven't done anything wrong. And just staying with that little you and tapping with her, tapping through the points. You might bring in a blanket around her to help to start to move that frozen feeling. Just staying with that energy with her, make it safe for her to let go.
Like, how can this be true? That he's not like coming back. Just doesn't make can't process that this is a reality. Like that just doesn't happen. That he doesn't come back.
Yeah. Staying with that feeling, each layer, all this disbelief, all this shock.
Yeah, there's got to be something I can do.
Yeah.
It has to be something that I can do, or that I can that I'll do anything for this not to happen. For me to be wrong, I'll do anything just to get him to come back. Yeah, it doesn't make sense that he would be gone.
Okay, Just keep breathing, keep tapping. It's that acceptance of what's happened.
Don't want to accept it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, because then
that means it's true. That means it's what happened is true.
Means that I've done something. I think that's the real thing.
Okay. Or this fear that I've done something wrong.
Really, it reminds me actually of when my ex committed suicide. Like I just couldn't think about it for like a year. I just kept thinking he'd gone travelling because I just could not accept that he died at all. It was just too much to think, oh, that's actually happened. I knew that there's still a lot of this stuff with him is like, I accept that he's definitely dead. It's like, I know I've got to accept that I played a part in it in some way. Yeah. I think that's it. Like, I played a part in like what happened to my dad.
Yeah. So just staying with that fear. Denial is a really powerful place to be because it means it's never happened, but as if it's always happening, that frozen moment.
Yeah, it's like regurgitating feeling that just keeps going round and round. That absolute panic and anxiety, if I let it settle, if I let it stop, then I don't think I can handle. The truth is, that's it. I just can't handle either of them.
Yeah. So just keep tapping and breathing, and you might not get to that at this point, but we're just going to take layer by layer, supporting her. She hasn't done anything wrong. The truth is she hasn't done anything wrong. Just easing that panic, starting to calm her system, just focusing right in this moment, starting to let go of this fear. Because there's a protection in that fear, isn't there? That panic is the sort of, she doesn't have to look at anything else.
Yeah, she's not as frozen, but her head is quite down now.
Okay, great. So she's starting to change.
Just such disappointment in herself, myself, like just disappointed in myself. Like it let myself down. Like in this, I should have done more. I should have been more. It's that same feeling really about me smoking and drinking. It's like letting myself down. It's not really the truth of what I am about. I just can't stop. It's like I can't not do it. Yeah, it really is like.
So just staying with that little you. Keep tapping with her. Does she need someone or something to come in? What about mum at that time?
Yeah, I can bring mum in.
What would mum say to her?
Mum's giving her a hug.
Great.
Mum feels a lot of pain. I don't like to, so I know how much my mum takes this on. I just don't want to cause her any pain.
Yeah. And what do you know about that? What could you... I'm sure mum would want to help you, that little you. She wouldn't want you to be holding this. So maybe they can clear some stuff together.
Yeah.
You can teach mum tapping. You can bring in any of the resources that you've learned, maybe breathing techniques. There might be energy techniques.
Yeah.
You might want to shake some of that energy out, move around.
There's a lot of shame she's feeling now.
Okay.
A lot of shame. The little me of like the shame of being such a disappointment. The shame of what my behaviour has, my stupidity has caused, like that disbelief that I could be that person that would do that, but I am, and I have, and I'm like.
Okay, keeping tapping with her, all this shame. What does shame feel like?
Like I don't want to feel it.
Yeah.
And, like I just need to put her. It's like it's something I have to hide from people. I just don't want people to know that I did this. It's real. It's like a part of me that I'm trying to cover up.
Yeah. We do that, don't we, with all these negative emotions? They're not pleasant. We don't want to feel them, so we're just kind of keeping them out. But we can just move through them. Yeah.
Part of me.
Yeah.
Something I'm carrying all the time. This real shame.
Where's that in your body? Or where's it in her body?
Like a little. It's a box in her heart.
Okay, so focusing on that box of shame, tapping with her. This box of shame in your heart. This box of shame in your heart. How much of that shame is hers?
It's really painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a knife. This like twisted knife, because if I look at it and it's like, oh my God, I did that. It's like she's trying to put it in the box, but it raises its head, and it's like almost like white panic, that white fear. Oh my God, remember like what you've done. Oh, and real shame.
Never forget it. Yeah.
It just like, getting on. It's almost like, go to elevate myself, go to get on my life and do great things and present who I do my work. And then I just have that memory of what I am, what I've done.
Breathing through it.
Really.
Does she want to let go of this shame?
I don't know, she's just, she's just like sat on the floor now. She's a bit like a rag doll. She's
exhausted.
Wish things were different. I wish this hadn't happened. It's like, will please make this different.
Yeah.
Like, really make it different. I'll do anything so that this didn't happen. Really, like, literally feels like it's like she's kind of awake a little bit now, but it's like that,
the enormity,
franticness, like, please, like, please don't say that this has happened. And I know that feeling, like wake ups. It's not even after I feel that a lot then, but the anxiety, but it's the I get it at the times. I know that I'm on the edge of it sometimes. That feeling, I know what it is. I know that feeling.
Keep tapping with her. It's a familiar feeling. She might need another colour now. She might need something else. Just keep breathing through that shame and fear. Tapping through this energy. So each layer of emotion is just a layer of energy that's got stuck. So you can just keep moving that through. And the more that you just acknowledge it and talking it through, talking and tapping, you're going to be clearing step by step, breath by breath. Just trusting that process. Holding her. Okay, how's she doing? Does she need anything?
There's so many phases of her. It's just like my mum's just there next to me, but just rubbing my back, but I don't know what. Just like curled over really at the minute.
So just wrap her up. See her being receiving that
I'll
love.
put a blanket on her.
Yeah. She can
just too much, the acceptance that this has happened. Like, it's just so, like, even now I can feel it of like, please say he's going to come back.
Yeah.
Really feel like a lot of like.
This is a really gentle process. There's nothing that needs to be rushed. You can just see her being held one step at a time. So you can maybe wrap them up and leave them Seeing her with mum. We'll come Jack.
Mum looks a bit worried though.
What would you say to mum? What would help mum?
Just maybe give mum a blanket so she can have her experience with this as well.
Yeah. Great. Just see them there together. Okay. Is there anything else that they need that you could bring into that picture? Any other resources or support?
With my little sister.
What about Dad's energy? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, I don't think I can handle Dad, but yeah, his energy.
Just knowing that his love is looking over you all.
Yeah.
Great. So we'll check back in with that picture in a moment. Does that feel okay to leave them for a second?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Well done. That's huge. This is huge. You're just doing one step at a time. It's great.
Yeah.
Let's check back in with the 14-year-old you. And that picture with mum. How's she doing now?
She's okay. It's a few different aspects of her as well. She just feels like she's not really good enough. It felt like a long time coming, I suppose. That was it. Of like this fear that she had that she wasn't fitting in and wasn't liked. And there's the truth, really. You know, that this experience, confirmed her fears.
Mm-hmm.
A lot bigger back then. I really felt very ugly and fat. Yeah, my heart was very heavy of like this thought that this was me. Like, it feels quite like painful of like, this is what I am. This is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And like, just feeling really gross, thinking I couldn't ever change it. Yeah.
Stepping in, connecting with her. You can show her things that have happened, things that have changed, where you are now. Show her all the good things that are coming. And help her just to start to lift out of those feelings and tapping with her. All that heaviness. All that sadness. All those thoughts and beliefs about herself. And how much you have changed. All the things that you've overcome. All the great things you're doing now. Where you're living. And this is just the next step in that journey. And I imagine you had lots of good moments you can share with her.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just saying things get better. I mean, this is just an opportunity to see what matters, really, I suppose. Like,
what does matter?
Just that she doesn't have to keep feeling like this, really. So this is, there's no need for her to feel this. She's not as good. There's no need to feel that, have that belief, That doesn't need to be the one that's the greater picture. That isn't the greater, that isn't the, you can be any size and really still own the belief that you are worthy of being on this planet, I suppose, like worthy of being here. So that's not relative. Yeah. Yeah, and if she wants to lose weight, then stop eating.
Yeah, and you did that, didn't you? You went through that journey with your body.
Yeah, I mean, they're just her feeling fat and her not feeling like she's part of the wanted by this group are very separate things. Like if you feel fat, then do something about it. And not being part of the group isn't true,
Right. Is she hearing that? Does she believe you?
Yeah, she's just saying, like, how does she change though, the fat thing? So like, she just feels like heavy with the idea that this is who she's going to be forever, and it's like, just I can't handle being looking like this for the rest of my life.
Does she see you now? Because you teach yoga now, don't you? All sorts
Yeah.
So she can see, you're the proof that she's listened to her body, that she's doing what she needs to do, that she can change how she feels. It's always the change emotionally first. And you can download your journey into her, so she knows what's coming. She can trust the process. She was where she was, and you are where you are now. So she can start feeling good about herself and where she is now, because you can only be where you are.
Yeah. I think she just wants she wants to go out like running, but she just thinks if people see her, they'll laugh at her. But also she wants to not smoke.
Mm-hmm.
Not drink with them all the time. I mean, it's not that she doesn't want to, it's that she wants to be able to have that power over herself. I don't know, it's a bit of a weird one. It's not that, but she
would have choice. She does.
She wants to have the power that when there's something that she knows isn't healthy for her, although it presents itself, she wants more for herself than that. And that's a bit twisted, where I can't really describe it, but she wants to be able to say, well, that's no good for me. I don't need to eat all that food. Why is this part of my mind? Same as with the smoking and the drinking, saying to me in this moment, you need to do this, you need to eat more. That's how it used to be with food. Just eat, keep having another slice, another more, and cigarettes and alcohol, keep going. And I just want to be like, no, like, and then that needs like, I don't have the power. I suppose it is the power to say, why would you want me to do that to myself? Because it make me fat and feel.
Give her empowerment. You could give her confidence. What does she need to help her to make that shift? Self-belief, self-love, self-care.
I think it's just a self-love, and it is knowing that I'm worthy of self, like, almost not that anyone pressures me to smoke and drink, but the pressure I feel when someone else has another glass to join them.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to feel uncomfortable because this is just what I do, or I want to join in on that party they're having.
Yeah.
I'd be like, why? Just like that real, like, what are you doing? And oh yeah, of course. It's like, I wouldn't, and it's almost it's a bit weird, but it's like, it's just the obvious thing. It's an obvious thing that you're not going to step off the edge of a build. Like, why? A voice said, but a part of me was like, I think you should do that. I'd have more sense. The sense, I suppose that's what it is, to be like, why would you do this kind of thing, like, so it's a thought that came in, but I have more sense that I am worth, that my body and my health is worth more than a cigarette. It's like, I think it's the sense.
Valuing yourself over that sort of.
Yeah, it's a real, like,
the group, like, it's,
that I'm worth.
On so many levels worth.
My health is worth. Yeah, it's just like, this is the bizarrest thing to choose them. Like, have some common sense, really. It's really how it is, I feels like, and she just wants to go out and be mates with them, but like I've got like this is the almost like it's just this is the bizarrest thing, like, you know, to think that drinking loads and thingy is gonna make your life better, like have some sense. Yeah.
So you can breathe some of that into her. You can give a huge balloon filled with those qualities of valuing herself, self-care, self-belief.
Yeah, she feels pretty good. She feels like ready. She just wants to go. She wants to go and say to her friends, really, like,
fantastic.
Yeah, let's go out. But I'm not. I'm like, I'm really good how I am. I don't need any.
Great. Can you see how they're doing that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. And how does that feel?
Feels good. It's like, yeah, I mean, she feels really good. She's like full up. Her heart is, you know, I think that's the thing comes to, isn't it? That I'm not full up. That's kind of what the drinking and smoking does. Fills me up.
Yeah.
And she's like complete. I think that's the thing, is this sense of being complete.
She doesn't need anything. She's good enough.
Yeah, like this is who I am. Like, I don't drink and smoke, so we're still mates. It's not a problem, you know.
So let's send that energy back into her past. That confidence, that feeling complete. You can send that all the way back to a tiny baby you. You can send that forward into your future. So every moment of your life is touched with this feeling. Feel your heart filling with that complete feeling good enough. Feel it in every cell in your body. Just turn the volume up on that energy. Does it have a colour or a texture?
It has like a gold. It's like gold. It's like a bit of a like a royal thing, like not a cape, but like some kind of like thing all over my chest and that.
Lovely. So feeling that around you, this beautiful gold energy. Confidence, being enough. In every cell, and you can fill the room with this feeling. Send it out into the house, into the town, outside, out into the universe. All the way back through your timeline, forward into your future, into future social engagements. Send that wherever it needs to go. Take your time and let me know when that feels complete. Lovely.
Yeah.
Great. So you might want to feel that body feeling in your body somewhere in particular, or you might embed that into an object, a piece of jewelry, something that you can carry around with you. Something every time you see it, be reminded of this feeling. This is the truth. I am enough. I'm filled up. I have a choice. I choose me over my behaviour.
Yeah, that's it. It's choosing me, isn't it? Really.
Great. Yeah. How are you doing?
Good. That was nice. It's another aspect of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
So I was going to say, just check in with that little earlier picture, how she's doing. So she's wrapped up in the blanket with mum and her sister.
Yeah, she's okay. They're just in the blanket.
Yeah, just resting.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Wow, well done. Amazing.
Yeah, interesting. That does feel, I mean, that is one of the things, is the bizarreness of the behaviours that I have that are just
that kind of confusion. Why am I doing this when I don't want to?
Really, like, so bizarre that I would choose that. And yeah, like some of the way I am about things is like, are you insane? Why would I do that? Or why wouldn't I do that? Like, of course I'm very like, just do it. Like, stop messing about. Like, I'm like that, you know, just get on and do what you need, you know, do this with project or do that or speak to that person. Like, so why I'm like,
so
so faffy.
This symptom is really helping to bring up and clear those early pictures, which is what it's for, and nothing else maybe would get you to that point.
Yeah.
So it's that when you get to the point of like, okay, that's why I'm doing that behavior, so I can reach this memory.
Yeah.
And one day that job is done and suddenly you're not doing that anymore.
So interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, it's great to work with you. You just,
yeah,
it's brilliant.
I know it is interesting. I go, yeah, I'm glad I can show how it so well. I suppose how
the layers, how far it goes back. Like you'd never associate those two.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
And it is that real, just with that younger, just that younger me, that real. And even when I touched on that feeling, my friend when he died, and that's really like, that kind of accept, and I think that's really going to be a big thing for me, is accept that at that level. Obviously, at a now level, I can get it, but I know that's been a driver for a huge amount of even the amount of traveling I do. I think the driver is I'm looking for my dad and seeking and moving around so much. Like I've had that realization before, with this. So. So I know that like acceptance that my dad is like at this level that he's dead and it wasn't my fault is going to be like quite a life changer. Really.
Absolutely, it's huge.
So thank you.
My pleasure. Well done. All right, see you next time.
Thank you.